The Krelvar war beast has broken containment and killed 3 handlers, Commander Zilax barked into his comm unit, watching security feeds explode with red warning indicators across every screen. I need evacuation protocols active now. Academic district, full lockdown. This is not a drill. The creature on the monitors was 800 pounds of armored rage. Titanium claws designed to tear through starship hulls, bred specifically for planetary invasion by the Krelvar Dominion before their empire collapsed. It had somehow escaped its reinforced containment during a routine feeding, leaving 3 experienced handlers dead in seconds. The beast was now loose in the main academic quadrangle, and students were scattering in every direction. Except one. According to YouTube analytics, 99.6% of viewers are not subscribed. That's a huge number. By subscribing the channel that is completely free, you'll help support the channel and never miss fresh content. Zilax's secondary eyes focused on a small figure walking casually across the quadrangle, completely ignoring the screaming alarms and the panicked stampede flowing around her like water around a stone. She was looking at her datapad, earbuds in, utterly oblivious to the chaos. "Someone stop that human!" Zilax shouted, all 4 of his arms gesturing frantically at the screen. "Get Emma Johnson out of there immediately." The human exchange student, 19 standard years old, barely 5.5 feet tall, wearing what she called a hoodie and carrying a backpack covered in colorful patches, continued walking directly toward the war beast's last known position. She paused, looked up from her device, and appeared to be checking directional signs. "Commander, she's not responding to emergency broadcasts," his second officer reported, mandibles clicking in distress. "Should we send a retrieval team?" "No," Zilax's claws dug into his command console. "Nobody gets close to that thing. It'll tear them apart. Keep hailing her on all frequencies." On screen, Emma Johnson pulled out one earbud and looked around with mild confusion, as if she just noticed something was slightly off. Students continued fleeing past her. Emergency barriers were slamming down across access points. Armed security forces were establishing a perimeter, weapons trained on the sections where the war beast had last been spotted. And this human, this supposedly fragile being from the protected species list, just stood there checking her phone. "Emma Johnson, this is Commander Zilax," he broadcast directly to her student comm device. "Evacuate immediately. Lethal predator loose in your vicinity. Move to the nearest shelter point now." She looked at her phone, frowned, and appeared to type something. A message appeared on his console. "Is the cafeteria still open? I missed breakfast and they're supposed to have tacos today." Zilax felt something between his primary and secondary brains short-circuit. "Tacos? There is a Krelvar war beast. Do you understand what that means? It kills things, large things, armored things. You are made of soft tissue." Another message. "Okay, but about the tacos, though. The cafeteria is closed. Everything is closed. Get to shelter." Emma shrugged, put her earbud back in, and started walking again. Zilax watched in mounting horror, as her path would take her directly past the Environmental Sciences building where the beast had been spotted 30 seconds ago. "Sir, the human embassy is on Channel 7, an officer reported. They're asking about the incident and the status of their exchange student." "Tell them she's insane," Zilax snapped. "Tell them she's walking toward the thing that kills professionally trained warriors for sport, and she's worried about lunch." The embassy liaison's calm voice filtered through. "That does sound like Emma. Is she in immediate danger?" "Yes." "What part of war beast is unclear to your species?" "Oh, she'll be fine. Emma grew up on a farm. She's good with animals." Zilax stared at the comm unit. "This isn't a farm animal. This is a biological weapon that—" The war beast exploded from behind a decorative pillar, covering 30 feet in a single bound, heading straight for Emma Johnson. Everything happened in slow motion. Zilax saw the creature's muscles bunch, its claws extend, its jaws open to reveal rows of teeth designed to grip and tear. He saw every weapon system on the perimeter swivel to track, targeting lasers painting the beast's armored hide. He saw Emma turn around, still holding her phone, and look up at 800 pounds of death bearing down on her at 40 miles per hour. "Fire! Fire everything!" Zilax screamed. "Sir, the human's in the blast radius!" "I don't—" Emma reached up casually and grabbed the war beast by its throat in mid-leap. Every weapon held fire. Every alarm seemed to stop. Across the entire command center, Zilax heard nothing but the sound of his own breathing and the confused chittering of his staff. Emma Johnson, all 5'5" and maybe 120 pounds of her, had caught an 800-pound war beast in mid-air and was now holding it at arm's length like someone handling an overly enthusiastic puppy. The creature's rear legs dangled 2 feet off the ground. Its claws scrabbled uselessly at nothing. Its tail whipped back and forth in confusion. "Oh, hey, buddy," Emma said, and Zilax could hear her through the beast's collar-mounted camera, which was now pointing almost straight down. "You're a big boy, aren't you? Yes, you are. Look at you." She was using baby talk. She was using baby talk to a creature bred by the most aggressive warrior species in known history, specifically to be unkillable. The war beast tried to roar. It came out as more of a confused whimper. "Who's a scary boy? You are, but you're not really scary, are you?" Emma adjusted her grip, and the creature, 800 pounds of muscle, armor, and predatory instinct, went completely limp in her hand. "You're just excited. Someone didn't exercise you enough, did they?" Zilax's comm unit was exploding with incoming channels. The Human Embassy, the Academy Board, the Planetary Defense Coordinator, the Krelvar species representative, someone from the Galactic Safety Council. He ignored all of them, unable to process anything except what he was seeing on screen. Emma shifted the war beast under one arm, like someone carrying a bag of groceries, and used her free hand to scratch behind its ear scales. The beast's eyes half closed. Its tail, which had been whipping violently seconds ago, began to wag. "See? You just needed someone who wasn't scared of you," Emma cooed. "Everyone's always scared of the big predators. But you're just a sweetie, aren't you?" "Commander," his second officer whispered, all of his vocal harmonics expressing pure existential dread. "What are we seeing?" "I don't know," Zilax admitted. "Get me xenobiologist Kaldra. Now." The war beast, apparently deciding that dignity was overrated, started making a sound that could only be described as purring, a subsonic rumble that registered on seismic sensors. Emma laughed, and booped its nose with one finger. "You're ridiculous," she told the creature. "Come on, let's get you back home before someone gets hurt." She started walking back toward the containment facility, war beast tucked under her arm, still scrolling through her phone with her free hand. The security perimeter parted before her like she was radiating a field of pure, what the fuck. Kaldra appeared on Zilax's comm screen, her reptilian features arranged in confusion. "Commander, I was in the middle of— What is that sound? Is that the war beast?" "Yes." "Why does it sound happy?" "Watch this." Zilax transferred the video feed. Kaldra watched in silence for 10 full seconds. Then she began typing furiously, her 3-fingered hands flying across multiple keyboards simultaneously. "That's impossible. Run me the specifications on that war beast." 823 pounds, adult male, full combat conditioning, enhanced musculature, titanium carbide claw implants, bite force rated at— "I know all that." "What's the human's homeworld gravity?" Zilax pulled up Emma Johnson's file. 1.0 standard G. Earth, classified as protected species territory. Biohazard rating. Wait, he leaned closer to the screen. This can't be right. Biohazard rating of 8? That's higher than Krelvar Prime. Pull up Earth's environmental data, all of it. Zilax's hands moved across the console. What he saw made his antennae go rigid. Atmospheric oxygen concentration of 21%? That's almost toxic levels. Average temperature variance of, no, that has to be an error. Nothing survives temperature swings that extreme. Keep going, Kaeldra said quietly. Gravity at 1.0 is actually on the higher end of habitable ranges. Tectonic instability rating of 7. Extreme weather patterns. Megafauna persistence into the current epoch. Viral and bacterial diversity index of... Zilax felt his internal organs rearrange themselves in horror. By the void, their viruses have their own predators. What kind of evolutionary nightmare? It's called a deathworld, Commander, Kaeldra interrupted, and humans evolved as apex persistence hunters on it. That girl isn't strong for a human. She's probably slightly below average. Below average? Zilax watched Emma Johnson casually shift the war beast to her other arm. She's carrying 800 pounds like it's nothing. To her, it is nothing. Humans evolved carrying their own body weight plus supplies across hundreds of miles of hostile terrain while hunting prey that could kill them easily. Their muscles are dense, their bones are reinforced with minerals we'd consider industrial materials, and their nervous system response time is... Kaeldra paused her typing. Commander, do you know what the human reaction time average is? No? 0.25 seconds. Most species average 0.7 to 1.2. They think and move 3 to 4 times faster than we do, and they perceive it as normal speed. On screen, Emma had reached the containment facility. The handlers who hadn't been killed were standing well back, weapons drawn, clearly terrified. Emma waved at them cheerfully. Hey guys, found your friend. He got out, huh? The senior handler, a Vaxian with 19 years of experience managing combat-rated species, stared at her. How are you? Oh, he's super sweet once you get past the whole murder monster thing, Emma said, giving the war beast a squeeze that made it squeak. But I think maybe he's bored. Like, this enclosure is pretty small for a predator this size. He needs enrichment, puzzle feeders, maybe some social time with handlers who won't freak out. Definitely more space to run around. She set the war beast down gently inside the containment area. It immediately sat, looking up at her with adoring eyes the size of dinner plates. Also, you're probably feeding him too much, Emma continued, examining the beast critically. He's getting a little chunky around the middle. See this here? She poked the creature's armored flank. It didn't move. That's not muscle definition. He needs more exercise and maybe cut back on the protein supplements. The senior handler's mouth was opening and closing, but no sound was coming out. Emma pulled out her phone. I'm going to send you some articles about environmental enrichment for large predators. We had barn cats bigger than this guy. Okay, not really, but we did have working dogs that needed a lot of stimulation. Same principles apply. Oh, and... She reached over and adjusted one of the containment field projectors, bending the reinforced mounting bracket with her bare hands to angle it better. This was pointed wrong. It was creating a dead spot he could slip through. That's probably how he got out. She dusted off her hands and checked her phone again. Okay, so seriously, about those tacos. Zilax found his voice. Ms. Johnson, report to my office, now. Emma's face appeared on a dozen screens as she turned toward the nearest security camera. Am I in trouble? Because technically I helped, right? You're not in trouble. We need to discuss. There are protocols. Zilax realized he had no idea what he was trying to say. Just get here, please. Can I stop for tacos first? No. 20 minutes later, Emma Johnson sat in Zilax's office, looking confused while Kaeldra ran a portable medical scanner over her, and the human embassy liaison stood in the corner looking simultaneously proud and embarrassed. So I'm not in trouble? Emma asked again. No, Zilax said carefully, but I need to understand what just happened. You lifted a war beast, an actual military-grade war beast. You lifted it by the neck with one hand. Emma shrugged. I mean, he wasn't that heavy. I've lifted hay bales that weighed more. How much do these hay bales weigh? Like 60, 70 pounds, sometimes 100 if they're really packed. And you lift multiple of these? Yeah, that's like farm work. You just do it. Emma looked at Kaldra. Is that scanner thing checking if I'm sick or something? Because I feel fine. You're not sick, Kaldra said, mandibles clicking in what Zilax recognized as scientific fascination. You're just human, which, as it turns out, is significantly more impressive than we realized. I'm really not that strong, Emma protested. My brother Jake can deadlift like 400 pounds. He's on the football team. 400. Zilax did rapid mental math converting Earth measurements. That's equivalent to 363 standard pounds. Your brother lifts more than half of what that war beast weighs. For sport. Yeah, football's pretty intense. The human embassy liaison coughed. Commander, I think there may have been some miscommunication in our initial cultural briefings. When we classified humans as a protected species requiring careful handling, You meant we should be protecting other species from humans, Zilax finished. That's more accurate than our wording implied, yes. Zilax looked at Emma Johnson, who was now examining his desk decorations with mild interest, picking up a ceremonial trophy from the Trilaxian military games that weighed 40 pounds and turning it over like it was made of paper. This is cool, she said. What's it for? Strength competitions, Zilax said weakly. I won it 15 years ago for the combat carry event. I had to carry a 150-pound weight over 2 miles of rough terrain. Oh, that's like a weighted ruck march. We did those in gym class sometimes. Emma set the trophy down. So am I good to go? Because the cafeteria definitely closes in like 30 minutes and I really want those tacos. Kaldra looked at Zilax. Zilax looked at the embassy liaison. The liaison looked at Emma. Ms. Johnson, the liaison said carefully, going forward, would you be willing to attend some additional orientation sessions, specifically about interspecies interaction protocols? Sure, I guess. Do I get academic credit? We'll arrange something. Emma stood up, shouldering her backpack. Cool. Can I go now? Please? I'm literally starving. Zilax waved all 4 hands in surrender. Yes, go, eat. Please don't lift anything else today. I'm not going to make promises I can't keep, Emma said cheerfully, and walked out. The 3 of them sat in silence for a long moment. We need to reclassify the human threat assessment, Zilax said finally. Already drafting the report, Kaldra confirmed. I'm recommending we add a new category, something like catastrophically benevolent. The embassy liaison nodded. I'll notify our diplomatic corps. They should probably update the cultural orientation materials to include the phrase, please don't panic when humans do normal human things. Does this happen a lot? Zilax asked. Humans just casually demonstrating impossible capabilities? Oh, constantly, the liaison said. Last month we had an incident where a human engineer accidentally improved a quantum drive design by making what he called basic common sense modifications. Turned out common sense on a deathworld is extremely advanced physics everywhere else. I need a drink, Zilax muttered. Careful with human alcohol, the liaison warned. It's made from compounds that would classify as industrial solvents in most of the galaxy. Of course it is. 3 weeks later, Zilax stood in the Academy's main auditorium, addressing the full faculty and staff. Emma Johnson sat in the front row, eating what appeared to be a sandwich the size of her head, completely unaware that she was the subject of the meeting. New protocols, Zilax announced. Effective immediately. First, humans are not fragile. Stop treating them like they'll break. They won't. Second, if something dangerous escapes, do not attempt to protect the humans from it. Protect it from the humans. Third, if a human offers to help with something, let them. They're apparently very good at solving problems we find impossible. A hand went up. Professor Vix Ayla from the mathematics department. What about academic standards? Should we adjust difficulty for human students? Emma, mouth full of sandwich, raised her hand. Please don't, she said after swallowing. I'm actually finding most of this stuff pretty easy, which is weird because I'm not even that good at school back home. That's because your educational system is teaching you to survive on a death world, Kaeldra explained from the podium. You're used to learning under stress, processing multiple threat vectors simultaneously, and adapting to constantly changing conditions. Our academic environment is basically a vacation for your cognitive systems. Huh, Emma said. That explains why everyone else seems so stressed about exams. Another hand. What about the war beast? What's the status? Emma has been volunteering at the xenobiology facility 3 days a week, Zilax reported. The war beast has lost 15 pounds, shows significantly reduced aggression, and responds to 17 different commands. Emma named him Chompy. He likes it, Emma said defensively. And he's a good boy. Aren't you, Chompy? She held up her phone, showing a picture of herself with the war beast, which was wearing what appeared to be a bow tie and looking confused but happy. The faculty stared. Are there any other questions? Zilax asked. Silence. Good. Meeting adjourned. Try not to panic about humans. They're friendly. As everyone filed out, Zilax caught Emma's arm. Ms. Johnson, quick question. Yeah? What did you mean earlier when you said you're not even that good at school back home? Emma shrugged. I'm like a B- student, C+ in math. My brother's the smart one. He's going to MIT. And MIT is super prestigious tech university, really hard to get into. Zilax pulled up Earth's educational statistics on his datapad. His antennae went rigid. Ms. Johnson, your academic performance here places you in the top 5% of the student body. Really? Really? Huh. Cool. Emma brightened. Does that mean I can get a work-study job at the cafeteria? Because employee meals are free and those tacos are seriously good. Zilax looked at this human, this catastrophically benevolent creature from a nightmare world who thought war beasts were cute and quantum physics was easy and whose primary concern in life was apparently lunch. Yes, he said, yes, you can work at the cafeteria. Sweet! Emma did a little victory dance and headed for the door. Thanks, Commander. You're the best. After she left, Kaeldra emerged from behind a pillar where she'd been taking notes. I'm writing a paper about this, she said, about how humans are simultaneously the most dangerous and most harmless species we've ever encountered. What's the title? Zilax asked. They expected a fragile exchange student. She lifted a war beast by its neck, a study in deathworld domestication instincts. Zilax clicked his mandibles in what passed for laughter among his people. Catchy. I try. Kaeldra closed her datapad. Seriously though, Commander, what are we going to do when more humans start coming to the Academy? This is just one. Imagine 50, 100. Zilax looked out the window at the quadrangle, where Emma Johnson was playing fetch with Chompy the war beast, who was bringing back a reinforced training dummy like it was a stick. We're going to adapt, he said. We're going to learn, and we're going to make sure the cafeteria is always stocked with tacos. That seems wise. That seems like survival,